Hey guys, Bitter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you all about the latest from Bleed From Within, Fracture, out May 29th on Century Media Records. This album has 10 tracks, 42 minutes in length, and this is the band's 5th full-length studio album. This album brings a sense of growth and experimentation to the band. You can feel like they're rediscovering themselves, taking some chances, experimenting with sounds and vocals, going outside their comfort zone, and seeing how far they can expand the sound, how much beyond the walls of a genre they can go and be creative and create songs that the fans can connect with. I really felt that to me was perhaps the motto behind this record. The result is a very eclectic, very volatile album from top to bottom. There's no two songs that sound alike. They all have a lot of intensity. And that to me is the thing that keeps that volatility under control throughout the whole record. Otherwise the album would be extremely disconnected because it's so volatile. There's so many changes, there's so many moving pieces. Like I said, they experimented a lot, so they created songs that really broke apart from each other. Having the same intensity across every single track really unified somewhat this record. Because like I said, very volatile, really trying to expand, at the same time the intensity is trying to contract it. Outside of that element, I feel like there's three main beacons when you think about this album. When you listen to this album, these three elements immediately come to the forefront, and that is the guitars, the lyrics, and the vocals. Starting with the guitars, I love the guitar sound on this album. Definitely one of the highlights of the record. The diversity and the diversity of approach is extremely important for this album, and I was extremely surprised what they've done on the guitar side. Really eclectic approach, expanding on the sound, creating layers, creating different harmonies, different melodies, different transitions. I love the guitar work on this album, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the main highlights of the record. As far as lyrics are concerned, I felt that they added an emotional touch to the album, a personal touch, but definitely an emotional touch to the album. I think fans will connect with the lyrics on this record because of that personal touch that the lyrics bring forward. It's not like the lyrics are created in a vacuum and then they're put into this record in that same vacuum. No, to me, there's an organic growth from the experimentation that came with the music and vocals. It comes the same with the lyrics. You need that emotional approach in order to bring the tracks together, in order to connect everything together, but more important, to allow the fans to connect with the band and to connect with the message that the band has with this record. Last but not least, we gotta talk about the vocals. Scott Kennedy's vocals are incredible, consistent all the way through as far as the quality is concerned of his delivery. I like what they did as far as the diversity of vocals, using different styles, different approaches, different deliveries, and I also like what they did in terms of adding backing vocals, adding layers to the vocals, creating a little bit more volume, more space, more texture, making them bigger, either be in the verses or the chorus. But the consistency of his quality, song after song after song, is tremendous. Definitely also another highlight of this record. Overall, I feel like this album lacks something. I'm not quite sure what that something is, but to me there is something that takes a little bit the air out of the balloon when you think of the overall picture. The album has great tracks on the individual basis, but perhaps the experimentation that they did with this album stretched their sound too thin and too wide. And in my opinion, that left me wanting some more. I needed some consistency within the tracks themselves, not necessarily as a whole of the album, but within the tracks themselves. I felt that it lacked a little bit of consistency, it lacked a little bit of something within it in order to make the songs more robust, feel more complete. And that to me is a growing pain of this experimentation. When you experiment with new sounds, new vocal approaches, you really stretch the overall feel of the record, and in my opinion they stretch it a little bit too thin in some cases, in some songs, and that it perhaps takes a little bit of that consistency that I'm talking about. But overall the album really showcases their talent and perhaps showcases their creativity in terms of what they can do as a band going forward. So this is definitely a record that to me is a growing record for the band, is an experimental record for the band, and I think fans have to approach it from that perspective. As far as songs are concerned, I want to start off with Pathfinder. Verses are super powerful, heavy, with great tempo, switching in the chorus to a more contained sound, to a more restrained approach. The chorus has backing vocals, and in my opinion, those backing vocals in the chorus give that portion of the song a lot more strength, a lot more melody, both vocally and musically. Following the second chorus, there's this melancholic soundscape with a clean, somber vocal approach that, in my opinion, really works. It really switches the dynamic of the song. It switches the eyesight of the listener. It really becomes something different. And it creates this perfect build-up to the aggression that then closes off the track. And that aggression at the end of the track just hits you like a ton of bricks. It's a song that's very dynamic, as is the whole record. Fall Away, it's another killer track with a killer riff that at times, to me, this song has a little bit of a hardcore spine sound to it. Not at all times, but I felt that there was portions of it that really felt to me like a hardcore track. It has a more slow, controlled process portions, pieces of the song, and then there's some parts where the song just ignites and has a lot more intensity, has a lot more aggression into it. A song that's definitely divided, and a song that's definitely has these ups and downs, giving it an overall roller coaster feel to it, making it really dynamic and really energetic. But I really like those portions of the song, like I said, that switch completely, feeling like almost a hardcore track. Last but not least, For All to See, a song that opens really strong with the vocals leading the way in. The vocals are the introduction to the track, if you will. The guitars come in with a lot of power and direction and drive and force. All of these elements coming in to meet the vocals and push the song forward. The melody that opens up the track as far as the guitars is concerned stays throughout the track, sometimes more in the forefront, sometimes dropping more into the background, but you feel it like it's always there all the way through. In and out, but always there all the way through. The chorus is super melodic musically. It just really feels like it gains space, it gains volume in that specific part of the song. Using backing vocals gives the chorus a little bit more of a push, gives it more presence, it gives it more impact. A song that flows perfectly between its peaks and valleys all the way through. Really dynamic, really interesting track that has a lot of energy built into it. And this is it. This is Bleed From Within, Fracture, once again out May 29th on Century Media Records. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be looking forward to your comments and getting back to you. Take care, guys.